Hello, my name is Lori Stringer, and I am a Regional Literacy Coordinator for the Mississippi Department of Education. Today we will be discussing the literacy focus of the month in action for the month of February, which is cooperative learning. Before we begin, let's discuss the vision, mission, and 5-year strategic plan of the State Board of Education. The vision is to create a world-class educational system that gives students the knowledge and skills to be successful in college and the workforce, and to flourish as parents and citizens. The mission is to provide leadership through the development of policy and accountability systems so that all students are prepared to compete in the global community. The 5-year strategic plan for 2016 through 2021 is as follows. All students proficient and showing growth in all assessed areas. Every student graduates high school and is ready for college and career. Every child has access to a high-quality early childhood program. Every school has effective teachers and leaders. Every community is effectively using a world-class data system to improve student outcomes, and every school and district is rated C or higher. Our goals for today will be to discuss the purpose of the literacy focus of the month, examine the importance of cooperative learning, and explore cooperative learning activities and strategies. The purpose of the literacy focus of the month is to provide guidance to administrators and teachers for supporting a monthly, school-wide instructional focus based on best practices and research-based strategies in literacy. The literacy focus for February is cooperative learning. So what is the importance of cooperative learning? Research shows that cooperative learning is the instructional use of small groups so that students work together to maximize their own and each other's learning. Within cooperative learning groups, students discuss the material to be learned with each other, help and assist each other to understand it, and encourage each other to work hard. This type of learning fosters positive independence, face-to-face interaction, individual accountability, interpersonal and small group skills, as well as group processing. There are many benefits of cooperative learning. Some of these include increased achievement, an increase in positive relationships, greater intrinsic motivation, higher self-esteem, and more on-task behavior. Students also take responsibility for their own learning. They engage in cognitive collaboration where they must organize their thoughts to explain their ideas to their classmates. They also use their social nature to their advantage, and most importantly, they are having fun while learning. We will now explore some strategies of cooperative learning. The next activity is called the 3-Step Interview. This activity is also featured in the secondary Literacy Focus of the Month in Action video. The 3-Step Interview encourages students to share their thinking, ask questions, and take notes. It works best with 3 students per group, but it can be modified for groups of 4. After placing students in groups of 3, the teacher will assign each student a letter: A, the interviewer, B, the interviewee, and C, the reporter. Switch roles after each student has had an opportunity to conduct and to interview. Use the round-robin format to have students share the information that they wrote down when they were the reporter. Variations for the 3-step interview are as follows. The teacher can provide a list of STEM questions or full questions to be used as a guide for struggling learners. Or for enrichment with your advanced students, the teacher can allow students to create at least 2 of their own questions. Another activity is stand up, hand up, pair up. This grouping strategy helps teachers easily and quickly identify if every student has a partner. The teacher poses a question or problem and gives think time. The teacher calls stand up, hand up, pair up. The students stand, put their hand up, and pair up with a student from a different table. The pairs then discuss the question or problem. Students share their responses with their team or class. The last cooperative learning strategy we will discuss today is Think, Pair, Share. Think, Pair, Share is a collaborative learning strategy in which students work together to solve a problem or answer a question about an assigned reading. This technique requires students to think individually about a topic or answer to a question and share ideas with classmates. Discussing an answer with a partner serves to maximize participation, focus attention, and engage students in comprehending the reading material. Remember, cooperative learning actively engages students in learning. It allows each student to contribute to the learning process in a small group setting where they are more likely to take ownership of the instruction. Additional cooperative learning activities, as well as activities in all the 5 components of reading and writing, can be found on the Mississippi Department of Education Literacy website using the web address shown below. Thank you for joining me today to learn more about cooperative learning. Please feel free to contact any of the people listed if you have any questions about literacy instruction.
Hello, my name is Zachary Williams and I serve as a literacy coach with the Mississippi Department of Education. This month's secondary literacy focus of the month is cooperative learning. Cooperative learning should be infused in all subjects because of the role that it plays in all of life's experience. Research says that cooperative learning infuses social skills into the academic curriculum. One cooperative strategy that is useful when working with text is called the 3-step interview. This activity is located on page 61 of the Secondary Literacy Focus of the Month manual. This process encourages students to share their thinking, ask questions, and take notes. It works best with 3 students per group. To complete this activity, you're going to need a reading passage, some question cards, and a recording sheet. Today I chose 6 questions, and that gives each group member 2 questions each. The interviewee should have a copy of the text during the interview for reference. It is also very important to clearly define the expectations of each role at the beginning of the lesson. You can do that through discussion or role play or both. Once the students are familiar with the chosen passage, divide them into groups of 3. Each student is given a letter. A is the interviewer, B the interviewee, and C the reporter. After a certain amount of time, students will switch roles, so each will get an opportunity to conduct an interview, and each student will get an opportunity to perform all 3 roles. At the conclusion of the lesson, you can use a round-robin format to have students share the information that they wrote down when they were the reporter. And at that time, students can ask more questions or find more information from the text if necessary. All right, good morning, guys. How are you? Good. All right, I'm really excited to be here. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We're actually going to be interviewing one another. So raise your hand if you can tell me if you know what an interview is. What happens during the process of an interview? Yes, ma'am.
Someone is asking questions and someone is answering them.
Exactly. Somebody's asking questions and somebody else is doing what? Answering. But there's also another important component of an interview. Do they just answer the questions, or is somebody recording the answers to those questions? Right. And where do you see a lot of interviews? In
Jobs.
newspapers, on TV. All right. So today our interview is going to be just a little bit different, though, than what you see on TV and in the news. Because those interviews, they usually ask you questions about yourself. But today, our interview, we're actually going to be asking one another questions about someone else named Rosa Parks, who was a very important civil rights pioneer. So you're going to be asked to also answer some questions about Rosa Parks as well. Sound good? Okay, so you're not going to be alone in this. As you can see, you're already grouped up in groups of 3 or in groups of 2. You're going to work together to answer some questions from the text that you've been given about Rosa Parks. So before we move forward, though, let's talk about some of the roles and the routines and the procedures that are involved in this lesson, in the 3-step interview. So there are 3 of you, and each one of you are going to be given a letter. You're either going to have the letter A, B, or C. Letter A, you're going to be the interviewer, and you're going to ask 2 of the 6 questions that I've prepared. So you're actually asking the questions. That's what the interviewer does. The interviewee, what do you think the interviewee is going to be doing? The interviewee is going to answer the questions. So you're going to get a chance to answer the questions, and you're going to use evidence from the text. Very good. You might already know a lot about this, and that's great, but we're going to ask you to actually cite evidence that's in the text that's in front of you. And letter C, the reporter. What's the reporter's job? They're going to they're going to write down the answers on a recording sheet. So what's going to happen at the end of this lesson, you're not only going to have read this, you're going to have worked with your partners in your cooperative group to answer 6 questions about Rosa Parks, and you're going to take away with you a nice, nifty page of notes, some really good, well thought out notes that you can use to maybe write a report or to study for a quiz. Does that sound good? All right, so let's talk about how the interview process is going to work. First off, you're going to all start out as either A, B, or C. And the interviewer is going to ask 2 questions. The interviewee is going to answer 2 questions. The reporter is going to report or record what they did. Then after about 5 minutes, I'm going to say time. All right, after I call time, we're going to switch roles. So whoever was the reporter is going to be the interviewer is going to be the interviewee, and the interviewee is going to be the reporter, right? It's not that complicated. So we'll kind of, if you need help, we'll kind of do it when we're doing it. And then I'm going to call time one more time, and you're actually going to swap your group again. So after the end of the interview, everybody's going to have had a chance to do each role, right? Okay, so we're going to start out A, B, or C. We're going to give you a certain amount of time. When I call time, we're going to switch roles. Then when we're all done, you're going to have a page of notes, like I said, and you're going to share with one another what you wrote on your page of notes. Sound good? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by doing is go ahead and I'm going to give you an A, B, or C. I'm going to come around and I'm just going to say A, B, C. All right, so you're A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. Did I get y'all already? A, B, C. All right, and this, since yours is 2, you're going to be A and you're going to be B. And so the person, since you're interviewing, you're also going to be recording too. And then we'll just switch. And over here, A and B. Since you're doing the interview, you're also going to be doing the recording. All right? All right, very good. We've already kind of read through and familiarized ourselves with the text. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come around and I'm going to give the interviewer and the reporter the questions and the recording sheet. So all my A's, go ahead and raise your hands. All right, here are the questions that you're going to ask. They're all the same. Every group has the same question. Don't steal my paper clip. And stuck there, all right. All right. All right, does every group have a set of question cards? All right, very good. I'm going to come around now and I'm going to hand the recording sheet to the reporter, who are the C's. So if everybody could raise your hand if you're a C for me. All right. And what are you going to do with this page? What do you do with this page? Right, that's where you're going to write down the answers. Very good. If you want to go ahead, you guys who have the page first, go ahead and put all 3 group members' names at the top. So that we got that taken care of. There you go. All right, that's it. All right. So as of right now, everybody has a passage. Everybody has their question cards. The interviewer, the reporter has the recording sheet. Before we get started, does anybody have any questions about how this is going to work? Is there any questions about the roles or how we're going to swap? So, yes, ma'am.
When you're doing these, do you go like, when I'm asking her 1, 2, or do I just pick any one?
I would say it probably works best just to go in order. If you can do them in any order that you want, though, but you can just go in the order that they're there. Okay? So you're going to ask how many questions? 2. And then at the end, there are going to be 6 questions. So you guys are going to have to, you guys that are a group of 2 are going to get a couple more chances to do it. All right? So you can also, if I'm the interviewee, am I just answering these questions from what I already know, or where am I getting the answers from? You need to find text evidence. And remember, if you guys, the reporters, make sure that you're writing down and you're being real clear with your writing, because when this is over, you're going to want to be able to use these notes. It could be for a report, it could be for a quiz, it could be anything. So it's important that we're being clear with our thoughts. And the questions also direct you to certain paragraphs, so that helps you find the information. And if you don't understand something or you need further assistance, just raise your hand and I'll be right there. All right, so ready, set, go.
What does the word boycott mean in paragraph 5?
I guess it's rebelling for their cause. And then, do you think walking for freedom would be like evidence for that? Walking for freedom.
What was your answer?
I said walking for freedom. No, second part of the first one. Text evidence.
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
So, what clues from the text help you understand the meaning of the word boycott?
The word
What are we looking for here?
She's looking at what clues from the text help you understand the meaning of the word boycott.
So where did you show me the word boycott in the passage? All right, and what happened? It said they began a boycott. What does it say afterwards? What did they do? What happened during that boycott?
They're walking for miles.
They're walking for miles. When they used to, what would they used to have done to get where they were going?
Get on the bus.
Right. So what does that boycott mean? What are they boycotting?
They're trying to get the freedom to ride the bus whenever they want to be able to.
Right, and what are they doing, though, to kind of make that point?
Walking for freedom.
They're walking instead of
Riding the bus.
right. So if they're boycotting it, that means they're boycotting the bus. So what are they doing?
Avoiding the bus.
They're avoiding it. Right. So a boycott, if you boycott something, like in the text says, that's saying that we're not going to use that service to try to prove a point. Okay?
So it's like blocking out.
It's sort of like walking out on something. Another example is if there's a product or a company you don't like, you could boycott them by not buying their product or going
So
there.
basically, they're avoiding the bus and not giving the bus money to go anywhere, and they're losing money when nobody rides the bus.
Right, and a lot of people are paying attention to them now, to what they want them to know. Very good. I like that. Great job.
So is that what you want as your answer? Sure. That they're avoiding the bus.
In paragraph 4, Rosa's friend described her with the following quote, "Nobody ever bossed Rosa around and got away with it." What does this quote tell you about Rosa Parks' character?
She's not letting anybody run over her, and it says right here, and it says that Rosa Parks would not be pushed when the driver got up on his seat to insist that she give up hers, and she would not be pushed when he threatened to have her arrested. She simply replied he may do that, and he did.
So, which text evidence supports this?
So it is what you have is not incorrect. I just wanted you to be more specific about what kind of
That she would not be pushed
kind of a
from.
All right, so guys, let's go ahead and switch our roles. Interviewer is the interviewee. Interviewee is the reporter. Reporter is the interviewer. Okay, so you're going to ask 2 more questions now. And remember, if you're not sure of something, I've had some really good questions. Please ask for assistance. This text it's got a lot of really good stuff in it, and there's a lot of stuff you have to really dig for, and I'll be more than happy to let you do it. So to help you do it. So go ahead and move to the next 2. Go ahead.
In paragraph 4, Rosa's friend described her with the following quote, "Nobody ever bossed Rosa around and got away with it." What does this quote tell you about Rosa Parks' character?
Well, it tells her that she was a very courageous woman and that she
She didn't never like to be bossed around. She was kind of independent. And she just wasn't going to let nobody tell her what to do.
He tells her what?
She wasn't just going to let nobody tell her what to do. And when they met again in that winter evening in 1955, Rosa Parks would not be pushed that time. When the driver got up from her seat to insist that she give up hers, she would not be pushed. When he threatened to have her arrested, she simply replied, "You may do that." And he surely did.
So is that a question you're going to be able to answer with just one paragraph, or kind of using examples from the whole passage, do you think?
It's for like prop passage.
Right. I would try to think of, and do you know what an icon is? What that means?
It's like a big piece of your life, like someone you look up to.
It could be like a symbol or somebody you look up to. So to clarify what that's asking is list some of the reasons why she became an icon, some of the facts, some of the things that she did. There's quite a few in there. Is there a paragraph on there too? Number 5? No? Okay. Are you on number 4? Yes, so that one's just kind of all the way through. So pick out some things that made her an icon. What are some things that she did to kind of stand out to help movement?
Well, it says because of her arrest, she started a boycott.
But you're not answering the questions.
And in paragraph 7, it lists a lot of her accomplishments. As she began working with Congressman Conyers to find homes for the homeless.
So, what's your answer, Daniel?
She found homes for the homeless, and he stood up for freedom and for equality.
Guys, I want you to kind of look back. Let's all kind of return back to our start. All right? Everybody's had a chance to, number 1, read and analyze the passage. We've all gotten a chance to perform each role of the three-step interview process: interviewer, interviewee, and reporter. So, and now you have a page. You have some really nifty notes that you could use. You might need them to study. You might need them to do a report. And you didn't have to do it all by yourself. You worked how? Right, you work together. Very good. So what I want you to do right now is just take a couple of minutes, and I know you've already talked about it, but look back through and share some of the things that you wrote down with the people that are in your group and talk about it for just a bit. All right? So what do I want you to do right now?
You want us to read our things that we wrote down to the people in our group?
All right, very good. And talk about it. You might want to make some changes. That's fine. Go ahead, go. It's like, if you find that there's going to be a group of 2, simply have the interviewer record the answers as well. This activity can be extended by allowing groups to evaluate responses from other groups. Another great idea is to allow the students to generate their own questions, and you can give them some question stems as a guide.